Hello and welcome everybody. We're starting right now with our second AMA session. So ask us anything, ask me anything live session. The last one was concerning Atlassian. Now we're moving to ITSM and we will be discussing such issues as what are the changes? Is there a vision of Deviniti for a dedicated solution, etc. So we will be answering all your questions, and some of those questions that were asked to us not only by Facebook or Instagram, but by mail. So we already have a few questions prepared for you. And you don't have to write any emails, anything like that. You can write your questions on Facebook or on YouTube, and we will try to answer them as fast as possible and as competently as possible. Of course, we have our three experts here: Przemek Wysota, Adam Stępień, and Tymoteusz. Who will be they will be your host for the whole day, and we also have one, let's call her silent host, and she will be jumping in and helping our boys whenever and such question or an issue will arise that will be a little bit challenging for our boys. I'm just your host, so I will be disappearing in a second. Just to remind you, you have a full hour to ask any questions you would like, and also remember that we will be trying to set the stage about ITSM. We will try to do about try to talk about an Atlassian ITSM approach, new templates, new functions, integrations, etc. So there will be a lot of issues that we will be trying to cover today. So I'm leaving, and we will try to start with our first question that we got from our viewers or from our users, that I will be posting, and you will also see that in the comment section below. And the first question is, what are the major changes between Jira Service Desk and Jira Service Management? So take it on, guys. I'm disappearing.
Okay, so yeah, maybe I will start. Hi everyone, my name is Przemek Wysota. I'm the owner of ITSM solution area at Deviniti. And answering the question, well, there's quite a number of changes between the old Jira Service Desk and announced Jira Service Management. Majority of them are related to integrations between Atlassian products. So there's totally new integration with OpsGenie. There are integrations with CI/CD tooling like Bitbucket and Jenkins and others. There are announced new integration with Inight Asset Management, which will be available most probably till the end of the second quarter of 2021. So that's basically it. Then there is a lot of changes in licensing and pricing due to retirement of server option. But with this, I would advise you to contact with the sales department of Deviniti or other Atlassian partner, because this is a bit too complex. Then there are some secondary options like new templates for Confluence, documents, for major incidents review, for changes review, and so on and so on. But they are becoming available depending on the license tier and product tier that you are buying. So some of them will be available only for premium users. So long story short, that's it. I don't know, Adam, do you want to add something?
Mic is muted. Maybe not adding necessarily about the new features, because you've mentioned it and covered almost all of it. But what can we generally assume from this change of the name, and in general what Atlassian is trying to do here is they shift us towards the cloud resolutions rather than on-premises. It's clearly seen even when it comes to the configurations between those tools, as Przemysław mentioned, that most of them are easier to do and and more focused on the integration between the cloud products such as Ops.Genie, which is not even possible to be able to obtain on-premises option. It's only in cloud. And between cloud projects at Atlassian, we can see the visible trend that those products and services are going to be more and more popular.
Okay, Timek?
Thanks, guys. That's enough.
So, yeah, if we have got another question or you want to extend this answer, just let us know. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, this is the question that we are always maybe not afraid of, but we need to be ready to answer. Okay. The long story short is that actually Atlassian is supporting the long-term policy for Atlassian is that they are supporting their own core products, while still there's the whole ecosystem of add-ons partners that are being developed for the platform, for the Atlassian platform. While Atlassian is supporting their own platform, their own tooling, partners usually when implementing solutions, they are supporting the whole solution, including third-party add-ons, including customizations, custom development, and so on and so on. So that's the first point. The second point, I suppose, is the field experience. We are supporting customers in the daily struggle with ITSM, with other areas. We are supporting them with actually different areas of the business. So we are closer to the actual daily business, and we know how to adapt Atlassian principles, Atlassian tooling to the live environment, to what customers are actually facing. So that's the second point. Well, that's my private opinion, but the third point would be that actually with some of the partners, including Deviniti, we have got really extensive portfolio for ITSM knowledge among the team. So we are combining the knowledge of Atlassian tooling with actual practical knowledge of the ITSM area, ITSM domain. That means that we can go 1 or 2 steps beyond Atlassian offering, making the most of the tools, while Atlassian still will be like focusing on the core products and the offer that is suiting, I don't know, 60-70% of the most common cases. So basically that's it from my side. Guys?
What I might think is also beneficial when it comes to our partner solution is the fact when we decide to use out-of-the-box ITSM proposition of Atlassian, we are mostly we had to rely only on their support in terms of their services, but when it comes to our partner solutions, some of the plugins are made extensively in our own departments, and as a result, even if, for example, the client has a problem with a certain application bug or wants to suggest some type of development of the feature, it's very easy for them to reach out to our vendors without even contacting them or looking out for them on their specific websites, which is of course always possible, for example, via the marketplace of Atlassian. But for example, during the implementation of the ITSM solution, if you had some questions in regards to the plugin, you have one ecosystem and a few departments, but one person that can easily guide you to the direct product owners of certain plugins or to certain plugins or resolutions for those plugins. So it's always it's always better user experience when you have to only contact one company about problems or development of certain resolutions, rather than looking out for them with out-of-the-box Atlassian propositions such as Atlassian Marketplace and creating different ticketing requests for them. So I think that's quite a value here. And in addition to what Przemysław said about our experience when it comes to the ITSM resolutions, it is also fair. It is also fairly. It is also fairly easy to say that our applications team also had a lot of experience when it comes to different resolutions. So it's not only about resolving the bugs or thinking about the new features. It's also about proposing new workarounds or configurations that may not be available to you, or that may not be visible to you, rather, right at the beginning of the usage of the tool. It's just easy to use and it's much lower in costs to implement those resolutions as well as develop them.
Okay, I guess now we've got two questions. I will skip Maciek Gavin question for a while. I will just answer Mauricio. Mauricio, we hope so that there is someone from Atlassian, but not definitely not among hosts. So this is like Deviniti event. We invited some guys from Atlassian, but we are not sure if they are joining us or not. But as for hosting, this is Deviniti meeting. So yeah, Maciej, will Insight be incorporated to Jira Service Management? Well, actually, it is already. Well, it depends on the license plan. It depends on the deployment model. But Insight became like an integrated part of Jira Service Management. As far as I recall, all premium customers for cloud and all premium customers for DC, they have got Insight licenses free of charge, even including Insight Discovery. So basically, as promised some time ago, Atlassian is including Insight into service management offering.
Exactly. Every new purchase of Jira Service Management license give you included Insight and Insight Discovery. Also, of course, Discovery for data center. So only Insight for cloud.
And as I mentioned, we just got information 2 days ago from the Atlassian, from the old Mindville team, that they are preparing a new Insight for cloud. There will be early access program starting in March, while the production version will be available most probably somewhere around the end of the second quarter. So basically, there will be some changes with Insight in the cloud as well. Okay, do you know which add-ons will be added to Jira or Jira Service Desk soon? Like Insight was added to JSD. We are not aware of anything that will be added specifically to Jira Service Management or Jira Service Desk. We are aware of the latest acquisition of Atlassian. I don't know if you are. That is the US-based company, which is called Chario, and they are specializing in data visualization, so reports, graphs, and so on. So it's pretty good chance that Atlassian will finally do something with this feature gap as well, because just as customers, we're missing a good reporting solution for Atlassian for years. So that's what we know. Then with the roadmap, I believe that integration of existing toolsets, so Insight, Ops.Genie, status page, and CI/CD stream is actually keeping guys busy still this year. Moreover, considering the changes to offers, that server is going out, so they need to split somehow existing server customers into cloud and data center.
Yeah, unfortunately, Atlassian doesn't share such plans with us. We need to wait for some announcement for their site.
Okay. So yeah, there's a lot of them. So basically, it's one of those difficult questions. What I would start first is high virtualization of IT services these days, especially with public cloud providers allowing you to set up thousands of machines within a moment with microservices, microservice-based applications, and so on and so on. So basically, high level of virtualization, shorten lifetime of the machines of the environments is making a bit difficult processes like change management and configuration management. You need to maintain this latency between actual event that is happening in the infrastructure and your ability to record this event. So I believe that change management, configuration management will be the processes that will be affected in the nearest future the most. And the paradigm behind them will need to change somehow. You won't be able anymore to record every change upfront, every configuration change upfront, because things are just happening in the IT these days. You are turning on, turning off dozens of machines every second. You have got user peaks which are going 100 or 200% of the baseline every day. So basically, you need to respond somehow. Meantime, keeping in mind that you need to maintain the control over your architecture. So I think that will be the most important challenge. The second thing I believe will be human factor, because of course tools are getting wiser, more intelligent. Automations allow you to do a lot of things that usually people were doing manually, but still there will be this decision points where human factor will be crucial, and human analysis with a human touch will be the most important thing. So I believe the user interfaces, the user experience will be another challenge to simplify the tools as much as possible. Maybe to integrate some gamification with actual pricing, which will actually allow some benefits for the people that are dealing with the cases in the most efficient way. But that's somewhere on the side of ITSM and the HR area. But then the third point, I believe, will be the integration with the variety of the tools in the market. We can observe that in Atlassian ecosystem that there are still some gaps, functional gaps in the ecosystem that are not filled in, and actually every single touch of these gaps is a custom development. It's like a connection to monitoring software, connection to security management software. That's always like one-off solution, one-off case. So yeah, there is quite a number of challenges. I believe that guys have got also their opinion on that.
Yeah, I think the most important challenges in nowadays, but not only present, but also in the past, is just understand the customer needs. And this is the challenge which we as a partners need to accept every day. Understand the customer needs and propose the proper concept of the introducing ITSM tool. Yeah, I know this company quite well.
Product placement.
I think what I might add here is also the fact that ITSM tools, as ITSM tools itself, have this challenge to prove their necessity on the market and for the customer as well. The main reason for that is the fact that when we are trying to promote or even sell out the tool that provides us with a set of prepared resolutions that are adjusted for a certain and complicated processes, because ITSM is not an easy process to be managed inside each company, even though everybody knows, and most of the companies have the knowledge that it is necessary and it will quite improve their experience in terms of IT development and maintenance. Even then, it's really hard to prepare a tool that it's not only like easy to use and can be used by the clients right away after it is implemented, but also it is being understood by them at the same time. Because when we converge two topics, like also not only the tool itself, like an Excel file, which everybody knows that its purpose is to resolve complicated and manage complicated sets of data within the cells. But when we converge about the processes management, which it does not only require the money for the license for the tool or for the licenses, it also requires a knowledge or a scholarship for those customers. So I think the hardest challenge is to decide how can we approach the customer in a way that we are not only selling them a product, but we are also selling them a knowledge that can improve the usage of these tools. Because in most cases, without one or another, we are not able to successfully implement that type of tool.
Yeah, just to like finish with the bottom line. So there are challenges, a lot of them. And I believe we won't end up with resolving all of them in the nearest future, because then IT area, ITSM as well, is changing constantly. So basically, right now we are just dealing with the stuff in a regular IT environment. But imagine how fast we will need to react, or finally quantum computing will come in place. So then everything will need to change, starting from reacting to failures, through actually planning the infrastructure changes, through application environment, and so on and so on. So I don't think that we will end up with resolving all of challenges that are ahead of ITSM. All right, the next one. Are there any gaps or glitches in the new Jira Service Management? That's a tricky one. Okay. Yeah, so in fact they are. It's not a new thing, but there are some gaps and glitches in the Jira Service Management, as well as they were in Jira Service Desk. I don't know how many of you are familiar with really in-depth technical knowledge about workflow design for Jira. But one of the biggest gaps that is actually observed in Jira Service and Jira Service Management since the very beginning is lack of proper system events in Jira Service Desk workflows. The other is multiplication of workflow-based screens when configuring projects. So as many service management projects you are creating in the environment, just as many in workflow screens you are getting. So you are ending up with resolution screen number 20, resolution screen number 21, workflow screen number 22, and so on and so on, which is actually messing up environment a bit. In fact, this is something that is pretty much surprising, because this is pretty easy to fix and to maintain. But then again, when we were talking about partners' value, this is again one of these topics where partners are actually able to correct that with their implementation, with their solution visions, when they are just cleaning up the gaps and glitches in Atlassian out-of-the-box setup. In my opinion, out-of-the-box setup from Atlassian is a bit too extensive if we are talking about classification and categorization of issues, where you have got this product categorization, operational categorization, plus components, plus Obsgenie services, and so on and so on. It's a bit too extensive. It's again creating unnecessary white noise when working in a practical life environment. There are some few minors, I believe. The gaps, the real functional gaps, in my opinion, the knowledge base integration with Confluence should be refactored and re-engineered. because right now this is just allowing you to collaborate between Jira Services and Confluence on 2 different article types, how to and troubleshooting. And actually, the practice of the knowledge management, practice of the of working with Confluence is much wider. Sometimes you need to refer to some software team documentation. Sometimes you need to refer to, I don't know, some policies documentation and so on and so on, as well as you need to create ones. For example, password resetting policies. It's far beyond how to article and ability to work with them from a services perspective would be highly beneficial. Then definitely something that, as I mentioned, we hope to change in a few months. But for a cloud environment, this is definitely still inside asset management part, which is way behind the on-premise data center version. But I will just give it a benefit of doubt till we will see the new version and how the guys resolve the issues in the new version. So that's it from my perspective. Adam, Tymek.
I'm thinking about maybe not a gap, but some surprise, very technical. When you create a workflow in Jira Service Management and you would like to add approval, you cannot do that even if
unless you are connected to service project.
Yeah, exactly. It was so surprise for me in the past. Now I know about that. And the second, maybe not directly related with Jira Service Management product, but related with some plans in the Atlassian cloud. As we know that we love and we use a lot of automation rules through the Jira Service Management projects, you need to remember about some limits and the limitation of the Atlassian cloud related with the plan which you have. For example, 500 runs of the rule for standard plan, because sometimes we receive questions from our customers, guys, what's happened? It worked yesterday and today not. Why? Because you reach some limits, for example. But remember about that.
I think that this part is actually it is a gap, but it is a gap in customer management for Atlassian, because actually when you are running any instance like cloud instance, you should be aware. You should have some, I don't know, dashboard, kind of a dashboard that will show you how much of the limited space agents operations you are using. And there's nothing like that for Atlassian. So customer is not aware how far they are in the usage of the specific cloud. Then I believe that if I would put myself in the customer shoes and I don't have any written proof, okay, so every month I'm using totally like this 500 operations automations, or every month I'm just spending totally 95 or 97% of the bandwidth and storage, then I would have a written proof that would convince me to go into some higher tier. If I cannot see that, if this is just my imagination or answer for the support ticket, I don't see a reason for doing that.
And if I might add from the little bit of different perspective here, I think one of the major, maybe not glitch, but a gap here would be great, is the integration or the scope of the integration between the Ops Genie and the Jira Service Management. Even though those both tools belong to Atlassian now, it's still an issue with, for example, the mapping out between the different statuses that are available in your Jira Service Management, even out of the box. And that's something that they have the biggest problem with, because when it comes when the software company proposes you some kind of a template resolution that revolves around this integration, revolves around certain statuses, processes, and the names of the processes, I think it would be quite obligatory, or even a lot of nicer, if it was possible for the Ops Genie to process those statuses in more efficient way. At the moment, even if we make this Ops Genie integration between the Jira Service Management project and the team and a lot of the other configurations that are available in that tool, it's still not possible for Ops Genie to operate directly with available statuses in the Jira Service Management. You need to restrain yourself to only just 3 or 4 of them when it comes to the operating between those tools. And I think that's a problem, because even if we have a proposed incident workflow scheme that came with the templates from the Atlassian, and we try to replicate this workflow in our Ops Genie tool, like to have this concrete management of those incidents, we are not able to do it out of the box, and it requires from us a lot of additional configuration to adjust the limited options of Ops Genie on that matter to the extended workflows and statuses names that are available in Jira out of the box. When you try to do it on your own, it's quite fine. You can easily adjust, you can easily create a simplistic workflow that can map out completely to your possibilities in Ops Genie. But when you try to use out of the box proposition of Atlassian, then those workflows are not very similar to each other, and you need to do a lot of additional work in order to make it work properly, or as the initial user would like to have it at the moment. So I think that would be a great place for the improvements, to have those configurations at the very least integrated with each other out of the box.
You just reminded me of one last one, because when you mentioned Ops Genie, I was thinking about, okay, so guys, we are talking about Jira, we're talking about Ops Genie, we're talking about Confluence inside, but we lost status page from the picture. And the status page was, when Atlassian was acquiring status page, it was announced that it will be so huge change for the Atlassian IT Service Management with information about services, status, and so on and so on. And it's still not fully integrated with Jira. You cannot populate a comment from Jira that will be populated to status page dashboard, or eventually you cannot steer the status page even from within the Jira tickets properly. And it's always like a manual, really sophisticated integration that is going somewhere around through some HTTP hooks and so on. And basically, that's one of the simplest integrations that could be made. Instead of putting just comment in the ticket, put some banner on status page with the ticket number, with unavailability information, and that's it. And this is still the gap that is, from my opinion, this is one of the points where actually Atlassian is missing what is valuable for the customers. Okay, let's go to the next point. Are there any changes to Inight Asset Management included? So yeah, as I mentioned, yes, they are, or they will be in a few months. However, they will be also tier-based. So only the new functionalities that Atlassian is releasing soon for the Insight in the cloud will be available only for premium customers. So the customers with the standard plan will be left with existing Insight functionalities. The premium customers will get new functionalities from Insight. With what kind of functionalities in detail, we will be able to get back to you in a month or two. Next questions, please.
Julian, wake up.
There we go.
Yeah.
So we will answer this question first, and then we will just get to Alia's question on Obsgenie. So what are the benefits of Jira Service Management against other market tools? That's always a bit like how I call it event-related question. So whoever is running the event will prove that his tool is the best tool in the market. So in our case, Jira ITSM is the best tool in the market, and we can prove that. But indeed, there are some objective factors that can lead you to analysis. What are actual benefits of Jira against others? First of all, regardless if you like it or not, Atlassian became a kind of a standard set of tools in application lifecycle area and CI/CD area. So the natural consequence of that for mature organization would be to run ITSM processes on the same platform due to variety of factors. Firstly, it's one platform, so administration would be cheaper and easier. Secondly, user training would be cheaper and easier. Thirdly, you can integrate processes across the teams, and so on and so on. But then, indeed, when Atlassian was introducing Jira Service Management, it was years ago. It was one of the first tools that was so open to design and develop processes in your own way. So you hadn't be strict to what tool is offering to you. You could imagine your incident management, problem management, service request process in a way that you want to run it, and just implement it in a tool. So the openness of the platform, the flexibility to design processes is another advantage. Then Atlassian itself, as I mentioned before, they are focusing on their own products. So we were waiting for quite a long time to fill in some gaps like asset management and configuration management. They were in the marketplace, they were at Atlassian, they were third-party add-ons. So basically, it's a kind of a situation where customers were complaining, okay, but this is core functionality, why Atlassian is not developing that? But finally, we have it from Atlassian itself. So basically, they are slowly closing this functional gap to enterprise-level ITSM solution. So they really, in my opinion, they can easily compete with the enterprise tools. They already won over HPSM and so on, along with ServiceNow. The only real competitor I can see in the market right now is the ServiceNow in the enterprise level market. With this lower tier tools, it will be all dependent on what you want to achieve. If you want to achieve interoperability, open platform integration with CI/CD tools, and so on and so on, Atlassian will be the first choice. If you want a really low-cost solution, most probably you will first look into ZenDesk, Freshdesk, or whatever, and there's nothing wrong with that. But still, when you look at this picture, Atlassian is the only tool set that is actually available in both of these market spaces. So it allows you also to scale up from a low-tier, low-cost solution to enterprise-level solution, using the same platform, using the same principles, having the same administration and development resources. So definitely lowering the cost of the transgression from low-level tool to enterprise-level tool to very minimal. So I believe that is that is the bottom line. It's scaling from a very low adoption level to enterprise level. It's open, and still it's way much cheaper than the competition. That's it. Guys?
The question about Opsgenie, right? Okay, the last one.
Yeah. Yeah, we can switch to this one. So yeah, Adam.
So to easily answer that, yes, it is available for the JSD on-premise version. You can integrate your JSD on-premises with your Opsgenie service, and it is available through the quite a friendly menu with the integrations with the integration of Opsgenie. Of course, it is not as much supported or as much as available, as much easy to do as it comes to the cloud version, to the cloud versions of your GSD with the Opsgenie. But if you're willing to, you can easily make two-way integrations between your Opsgenie and your JSD.
Okay.
Julian, can we see the next question? No, we can't. Julian, give us a question, please. One more, please. Thanks. Okay, we are waiting.
Okay, guys. So we don't have any questions right now at the moment. I think that it might be worth of mentioning if we are talking about service management in Atlassian, that most of the time we are focusing on operational process, like this related to service desk, like incident management, service request management, problem management, change management, yet with Insight asset and configuration management. But still ITSM is a much wider area. It's also covering application lifecycle management, security management, and so on and so on. I believe that the biggest, let's say, mental change, the change in the perception that Atlassian wants to achieve with changing from Jira Service to Jira Service Management is also to change this perception that we are not longer talking about service only. We are talking about integrations with other processes. We are talking about more focus on DevOps approach. We are talking about service management. We are talking about availability, capacity, security, those kinds of processes. And I believe this is where the focus will be in the next years. So most probably this standard functions like service desk and SLAs and so on will remain the same. And there will be a lot of investment in this backend processes and applications that are supporting like this tactical and strategic level. What I would expect is actually chasing a bit SAP applications, because this is again the gap that I'm waiting for a long time to see fixed in Atlassian ecosystem, is financial management. So ability to manage financial values maybe not only in Jira tickets, but in general in the ecosystem, where we could run some P&L analysis, cost, profits, multi-currency table sheets, and so on, directly within ecosystem. That we can connect that to assets, we can connect that to resources, and then at the end of the month, we can combine some cost profit report for the service. So this is what I would like to see in a year or two in Atlassian. What I would like to see is really proven to work integration with monitoring tools, with Zabbix, Nagios, SolarWinds, maybe not SolarWinds, considering recent events, but they were hacked. But yeah. Then the next point is actually security management, and again, the Insight team, still with Mindville, started the job pretty well with building up connection to NVD vulnerabilities database. So you could import into your Insight all the CVE vulnerabilities for IT products and technologies, and then you could build pretty fine IT security help desk, IT security support team around it. So then I would expect again extension into that area. But yeah, that's let's say my opinion, my predictions where it should go to. We'll see how Atlassian will, if they will join the same way of thinking or not.
And I'm back here, so I would like to thank you guys for answering all those questions. We're still waiting for a few more seconds. We'll wait. Will there be anything else that we can answer, that we can add? Maybe something that you already asked, or maybe that was asked in the emails that we received before the event. Maybe something caught your eye, or you want us to expand on something. But nevertheless, I would like to first of all thank our host, our specialists and experts in ITSM. You can all contact them or follow us or find us on our Deviniti page, or using our email addresses. For example, you can find us here at Atlassian at Deviniti.com. So once again, you can contact us with any questions at Atlassian at Deviniti.com. Of course, you can find our expert also on LinkedIn if you would like some more personalized, more direct communication. They will also be waiting and answering your questions. We have one, and this will be our last. I'm not sure if it is a question from Alyaz. Maybe trivial question. Is security levels works from API?
As far as I recall, they do. But then it's about the specific use case, because you can manage the security levels via API, but you need to have you need to have right permissions to actually change the security levels via API. So, well, it's about specific use case. So if you would have some more details about what you want to achieve, and then it might be much easier to answer this.
So I think that's Alias. This will be our last question. So once again, thank you for attending. This live AMA session will be available on our Facebook page, on our YouTube page, so you can go there. And if you didn't catch everything, or just joining us right now, as I see some people are joining us right now, you can rewatch everything, or maybe contact us after you read or heard something that caught your ear or your eye. Once again, thank you very much, and I hope that we will see each other during our next AMA session, our webinar, or during Jira Day, which will be starting in about 3 months. Thank you for everyone, and have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.